this is event guy Tim discussing some event challenges and offering some event solutions. Today's talk is going to be about how to satellite your sound for a picnic at a park or a parking lot for 200 to 1,000 people. Okay, so I have, for teaching purposes, two options for sound satelliting. Pretend this is a shelter or a field or a parking lot. Let's take the number 500 people. So this is going to be 500 feet this way and 300 feet that way, or it'll be a football field, if you will, or what you want to say. But basically our goal is to be able to take a decibel meter and to walk around all the attractions and walk around to all the different parts of the event, and based on ambient music being a minimum of 50 feet or more from a speaker, 81 to 85 decibels for ambient music. Now if you're a DJ and you're primarily like a wedding DJ or a high school, junior high dance DJ, you're gonna have two sets of speakers. This will require you to get outside the box a little bit. If you're MC and you're working with a sound company, please just don't do two big rack mounts on a small stage and try and thump the whole event. To permeate proper sound that far away, you're going to be at 105 decibels up at the stage, and you're going to be at 65, which is, you can't hear it at the farthest corners. Our goal is to really balance the sound with a decibel meter, and you can do it visually pretty simple. You're going to want basically to find your parameters, and I like to go about 50 paces. I have almost a perfect 3-foot pace when I pace out, so I like to go 50 paces, and I'll put a kit there. Now I'm going to talk about individual speakers and clusters, and then there's scaffolding type setups. Okay, if you are planning a picnic and you're trying to hire someone, you want to make sure you hire someone that has a good MC DJ background, and some of your wedding DJs have the best personalities. And then find a sound company that can properly run everything and set everything up for you. If you can find a company that does both, I think it'll be easier and probably better for you. If you're going to be utilizing field games and a big raffle, and maybe you got some VIP announcements, please make sure that you've considered maybe a stage or a center point where you're going to direct everyone's attention to, that's very visual from all aspects of the event. But to satellite your sound, this is what you want to do. You want to first of all get your spot, and you're going to have, if you're going to go on the outer parameters, now I'll tell you both options, and I'll tell you what helps me make a decision to go either way. You'll see pictures of both options, but if you go the outer parameters, you're going to use 14 speakers. I'm going to use like a 1530, like a Mackie 1530 here, going towards the larger amount, and then like a 450, 550 going towards the smaller amount of space. So that's a 2-speaker cluster right here, and hopefully there'll be some power close by that I can use. And I have my XLR cords going across to over here, and I got two 1530s, or two larger speakers, and a 450 in the middle. If you don't know 1530, 1520, 750, 450, basically a regular speaker this big is like a 450, okay? And that's what you'd see like at a smaller wedding, you know, in a dance hall or something like that. We're doing outside sound, so we're not looking for heavy PA unless you're going to have a big band and to make this into a concert, and then you got a mixing board and a whole sound company, and it's all different. But for a picnic, you simply want to make sure you have a good spread. 100 to 200 feet is good. If you have to go 300 feet, that works, but you're going to be running your speakers hotter. And with that, and temperatures rise in the day, you might find that you're overheating some of your speakers, which they'll automatically turn off. If you have junk stuff, it might actually blow up. But you want to make sure you're getting a good throw and good coverage. So the red circles, that's our first plan. This is what I do mostly. And so I'm going to utilize 14 speakers, and I'm going to have a couple big ones and a small one, couple big ones, couple big ones, couple big ones and a small one, a big and a small. So big being like a 1530 that has like two bigger speakers and like a small mid tweeter, and then the other ones like you see at a regular DJ / wedding planner type of thing, the mixer board here and the two speakers like that, that's that size of speaker. You need to have A lot of the small ones, if I only had small speakers on stands, I'd probably have more like 18. And this is going to be so we can have really solid permeation with potential in the very, very middle, potentially, with a quieter spot zone. Okay, now the outside here is going to be attractions and stuff like that. So it's important to say that you would never put your speakers behind a bouncer or behind catering or behind face painting or craft station or whatever. You're going to want to make sure your speakers are out to where they can project out. If someone's, behind here, they'll get the residual sound. It'll be a little bit bassy, but they'll get it. But this spread right here is going to give you a solid permeation. You can walk around, I guarantee, wherever you go, you can keep the music low, speakers are super clear, and no one's plugging their ears. The temptation here is make sure if you have a DJ that he has a monitor that runs a little bit hot, because the DJs start getting into the music, start reading the crowd. Next thing you know, they're thumping, bumping, and playing really loud, and now you're hitting everybody at 95 decibels. Common mistake. But again, if you got a good tech on site, you're using a sound AV company, they're going to have somebody there to make sure that doesn't happen. And a good DJ will be mindful of that as well. If you don't have one of these, if you don't use a decibel meter for outside vents where you're satellite speakering, you probably shouldn't be doing it. You really need to balance your sound. Okay, now the big question is, why would I use the outside parameter first? Well, because it's the easiest way to drop cable. I'm going to use probably 1,000 feet or more of XLR cable in this application. That being said, I don't have to worry about cord covers, and those can be expensive based on where you're at, permits required, and stuff like that. So if you're going out of parameter, you might have to do a couple little covers if you have an entryway somewhere where you have cable crossing. I am assuming here that we're going to have power available throughout the event, like a generator for bouncers, generator for food, fun food, other games, maybe a private little generator. If you can afford the whisper watts, please use those. If you only have one power source and you have to source up this type of event, it's going to be very difficult to do the outer parameter as I'm showing. I will show you how to do it in just a minute on the inner parameter. But the outer parameter, you use less speakers, you get, I think, your best quality of permeation for most applications. If there's a lot of elevation changes and or you got solid structures going everywhere and it's like you're deep into activities this way, then it's kind of nothing and it's really spread out awkwardly, you would have in the middle of the football field 4 big clusters. Now this is going to represent about 100 feet to 150 feet, all right, and this is going to represent 150 to 200 feet. And what we would prefer would be to use scaffolding, and that would be 4 speakers on top of scaffolding to elevate it above everybody as best you can. If not, that's fine. You're going to do a cluster here and a cluster there. You'll see pictures of my clusters. It'll make sense in a minute. We'll have up on the board here. But you're going to have a 1530 and a 450 and a 1530 and a 450. 2 clusters here, 2 clusters here, 2 clusters here, 2 clusters here, for a total of 16 speakers. Now, that's a lot more speakers, right? Well, correct. But if you have stuff in weird spots and trees in the way and stuff, and you're going, instead of putting your sound in, pumping your sound out, you have a chance of it going farther in certain directions. So, if I'm not worried about other shelters around me, and I'm not being held accountable to a sound ordinance, this could be a great way. And you can thump pretty good when you elevate your speakers on scaffolding. If not on scaffolding, then on the ground. But this will give you a pretty good throw. More than likely though, there will be seating and some things around this, so you have to be very mindful of anybody near this. The nice thing about the outer parameter, the speakers can be put farther away from people lounging, sitting, bistros, just plain standing. If it's a foot traffic area, that's fine. You can blast them as they walk by, but you don't want someone sitting down having a conversation and being blasted the whole time, having to scream, lose their voice, trying to communicate with the people they're with, right? So we want to have this nice ambient music, be prepared for some good PA. We got some VIP announcements. We're giving away nearly millions and millions of dollars in cool raffle stuff, and we want to make sure that's all can be done professionally. So you have a wireless mic, a mixer, you got a DJ mixing music or pre-mixed music. If you watch my other videos, you know I'm very passionate about family-friendly pre-mixed music with a little bit of live mixing for dance competitions and some fun interaction. But really try and focus your DJ and your MC on the people. Play to the crowd, play to the action, play to the movement, play to the feel. Playing your favorite stuff and taking requests can get you into trouble. As soon as somebody wants country, the next guy's going to want acid rock, then he's going to want goth and rap, and next thing you know, you're playing bad words, you're getting complaints, and it's not such a great experience. So again, check out my other video on the whole purpose of why I believe for picnics that you should have pre-mixed music. You should have a good 6, 7, 8 hour mix, clean, contemporary, upbeat, thumpy, fun, plays to all people type stuff. Okay, I have a Spanish version of that and I have an English version of that, and I flip-flop them at times, and then I have my own little fun dance along songs and stuff like that. We all started off when I was younger, it was the YMCA. Now it's the Step Up, or it's the, you know, I was gonna say Macarena, that's old too, but you know, we all have our special music, whether it's the Cupid Shuffle or the Wobble or what have you. So if you're in the middle, you're gonna have a generator in one of these clusters, and you're gonna use a lot less power run, which will be a lot easier to power everything. That being said, if you have no power at the event whatsoever, and you got one generator, you'd put one generator in one of these clusters, all right, and that would power it all. Your cable run is going to be a lot shorter, and your tech work will be a lot easier, and it'll be a quicker setup. So I have set this up because of triage purposes. I've had issues at an event and had to quickly change my game plan to get everything up. But more often than not, if I have power issues or distance with runs or tripping hazard issues, I'll do this, and then I'll just have some flagging so that people don't trip over the actual cord. And you want to make sure that you get an even spread. In a perfect world, this would be like 150 feet, 150 feet, 150 feet, or 100, 100, 100. And this would be like 75, 75, 75. What that does, I know that sounds really anal, and it's almost impossible to do at a lot of events because you got trees and shelters, and then you got people that show up earlier and they put their carnival ride in the way, or their cart, or their whatever. So you want to make sure the client understands that you're going for a very professional delivery, good permeation. If they're going to be doing raffles and any kind of awards, you're going to have this kind of sound. If you're going to just have somebody playing games and you're not doing any announcements, then you could go to a traditional DJ setup. But satellite sound at a park is very smart, very professional, very effective, and provides the cheapest form of ambience out there. So if you go with plan A, the red one, you're going to need a lot of XLR cable, and if you go with plan B, you're going to need to have a good quiet generator, and then you're going to need to have some cable covers and some flagging. Again, both work well. The goal is to take this and walk around with the ambient music playing and have almost no decibel drop. I love it when this thing just sits at like 84, 85, and maybe I'll get close to 88, maybe I'll get down to 82. But if I'm walking around and it drops down to 70 at one attraction or area, and then it hits 95 at another one, I didn't do as good a job as I could have. So again, for those of you doing the DJ work, the MC work, or the event planner planning your event, or you're an AV company and you're working with a DJ and the event planner, please know that you're going to want 150 to 200 feet of spread. You're going to want to either go wireless or run your XLR cable. And if you have other forms of attractions, make sure you have a stage and a center point for that. That will affect this somewhat. But most importantly, be mindful of your decibel permeation. Your layout should determine whether you go in the outer parameter or the center parameter, that being the map that you get from the customer. And try and balance it so it's crisp and clear and wonderfully balanced. And if you're using the right kind of speakers, you can turn a couple zones down. If you tend to have the older crowd, or you have a bar over here and they're serving alcohol with bistros, they don't want to hear nothing. So if it's the kids over here, you're going to have to play over them, and they're loud, so you might be running those a little bit hotter. This is common sense stuff that you will learn in time, but the event guy way is to try and provide perfect decibels for the whole event and have a good spread. Pick your best game plan and pick your best team to produce this type of plan. All right, good luck. Please comment below, let me know what you think. If I missed anything, or if you have some new cool system, or you got some really cool gear that you're selling really cheap, just kidding. But if you have any other comments, please list below. I'm not trying to tell an AV company how to do AV work. I am telling an AV company how to do a picnic at a park, and a DJ, and a planner, and an MC. What works best is good permeation. So please put your comments, ideas, suggestions, challenges down below. Please like this. Please send this to some people that could benefit. And let me know if there's anything else you want to hear. Thank you. Until next time.